Hey everybody, zjayfi here from OSG. I'm doing a quick video for YouTube. Just wanted to check out something that's been on my mind lately. Uh, I keep seeing people on the Facebook page and on YouTube recommending that everybody who's running the raid run Unbreakable. This particular build right here, this is the standard raid build, I guess is this is the build I keep seeing posted for advice when people ask about raid builds. And my contention is this. Yes, when you are new to the raid, if you've never run it before, this would probably be the build for you. But I say after 5 or 10 clears, once you're familiar with the raid and you know where the enemies are going to come from and you know the mechanics of it, this build is not doing you any favors at all, because it just has too many blues for you to be able to hit hard enough to put the enemies down quickly. And the hardest part about the raid is killing those really tanky gold bars swiftly. The longer they're alive, the more chance they have to kill you. And so my contention is that the SVD is the absolute king of the raid. Glass cannon is the way to go in the raid. Now, like I said, your first 5 or 10 clears, this is definitely the build for you. But if you've got more than 10 clears and you're still running something like this, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. And I'm going to show you why. So the Unbreakable build that I did quick put together is I put the rail splitter in there because I wanted this Unbreakable build to be the best I could possibly make it. I've got the rail splitter, the highest firing rate of fire in the game, perfectly measured with 990 rounds a minute. It's got a leg row, merciless to proc off spark talent. I gave this build concussion. We're going to test it with headshots, even though obviously it's unrealistic. You couldn't hit all headshots all the time in the raid. There's no way. We've got our spark and hard hitting backpack in here. We do have the damage to elites roll on the mask. We've got our 0F's chest piece. I actually sacrificed a 13% weapon damage to put it on this garbage chest piece. Well, I think it's garbage. A lot of people obviously still run it. We've got devastating assault rifle damage. We've got real assault rifle damage mods in all of these things. Got 5% assault rifle mods. We've got the Gila holster, we've got the Gila knee pads with patience, because everybody tells me this is boss to run in the raid. And like I said, it is boss when you've got, you know, your first 10, 15 clears, 5, 10, 15 clears, something like that. This is the build for you, for sure. But anything more than that, I think you should be moving on to something that hits harder, because all of this will not make you survive much longer. No way. You got all of these blues in here, and that could be offense or skill or something else to improve your damage level. Even the perfectly unbreakable has a hidden cooldown, and you're going to get hit just as hard as anybody else, so you're not going to be able to stay up much longer than someone who has a glass cannon. So let's go check it out. Now we want to test the true DPS of these builds. So we're going to fire against an invulnerable elite, because we're going to get the damage to elites in this too. We're going to set for a 5-meter target. We're going to fire all headshots. We're going to see where this peaks at. So we'll just keep firing until the damage per second settles in and we reach a solid average. Now keep in mind, this is with concussion proc the entire time. You would never be able to hit 100% headshots in the raid. But just in the interest of fairness, we're going to give both builds the benefit of the doubt and assume that they could hit 100% headshots. But okay, we fired off a good chunk of our ammo here, and we seem to have settled in at slightly under 2 million DPS. Is the true DPS of this build, right? Which is not bad. I mean, this is a good, quick-firing AR. This is a hard-hitting build, for sure. You could definitely hit some enemies with this. But what if we went with something a little bit less health, right? Here we have 206 armor and 65 health. Okay, so we're only losing like 80k armor, which is not a whole lot, and we're also losing the extra 291.4 we'll get when our first armor set gets shot off, and then we're losing about 90 health. Okay, so yeah, you are going to lose a little bit of survivability when we switch builds here, but nothing that's going to keep you alive forever as hard as the enemies in the raid hit. So here we've only got 2 blues in this entire build, but we still have 206 and 65. Like I said, really not much of a noticeable difference. And we have a headshot build with an SVD in it. So we've got an SVD with Lucky Shot. We've got Perfect Spotter, same amount of damage to elites. We've got the same spark and hard hitting. We've actually got less weapon damage on this backpack. We have less weapon damage on this chest piece, but it has been modified for headshot damage. We have Perfect Vigilance, we have Wicked, we have Precise for headshot damage, and we have Composure in this build. You can't run Composure in an Unbreakable build. But one thing I find about Composure is it sounds like only 10%, but for some reason this total weapon damage, you'll notice all other talents in the game say weapon damage, but this one says total weapon damage, which means that 10% gets added on to your total, which makes Composure absolute boss. It makes that 10% way more than the 10% would be in another build. Okay, so, oops, I forgot to reset here. So, all things being equal, we gave all headshot builds to that Unbreakable, or we gave all headshots to that Unbreakable build, right, with the Composure in it. Let's see what kind of DPS we can do with an SVD. Okay, we peaked over 6 mil. Now we are going to lose our talents here in a second, but I'm still going to keep going. Still settled in over 3. Still over 3. Still over 3. Still over 3. Oh, I even missed a shot there. That's why we went below 3. Had to slow my rate of fire there slightly. Okay, we fired off all our ammo and we still averaged well over 2.5 million damage per second with this build. So, assuming you could hit all your headshots in both builds, this build is demonstrably 30 to 40% harder hitting than even the best Unbreakable build that I could come up with. And that was with my Wicked and my Spark taken off in the second half. If I had stopped and thrown and reproc Spark and Spotter, well, Spotter's still sparked, but if I'd stopped and rethrown the Hive to reproc Perfectly Wicked, we would have had another 35% on top of that. We could have easily stayed over 3 million, averaged over 3 million. So my contention is that, yes, Unbreakable is great when you first start running the raid. After that, you are much better off going with something like this, or even something, if you want to run AR, that is fine. You can go with something like this, a clutch DPS build. Yeah, it's got a little bit less health, but you've got clutch to heal yourself up. This is an extreme one that I use pretty much for Razorback, but that is another viable option. I have run entire raids with this build. So just think about what those blues are doing to you. All those blues in an Unbreakable build are limiting how hard you can hit in the raid. It is it's absolutely essential to take out the enemies as fast as humanly possible. So the best thing that you could do for yourself is consider what value you're getting out of those 11 blues. How much longer are they keeping you alive against the damage that you could be doing? Because remember, a dead enemy can't kill you. A dead enemy doesn't have any offense of any kind. So if you know where the enemies are going to be, you know where you're going, what your role is, meaning you've got more than 10 raid clears, 15 raid clears, you've got your feet wet, I'm telling you, get rid of that Unbreakable build, run something more like this, an SVD. SVD is absolute king in the raid. It will just shred enemies so hard that you won't even believe it. And trust me, it's not that difficult to stay up with this level of health. This is actually a pretty stout build. I do not have a lot of trouble staying alive. The only caveat to that is that those explosive drones hit really, really hard, and they will tear you up. But that's why you've got the stinger hive right there. If you've got the stinger hive on the ground near you, it'll take care of those drones for you. So thanks again. My name is Zachary Finnefrock on Facebook. You can watch my videos here on YouTube, zjayfi. I'm also in the Old School Gamers Clan. Contact me at zjayfi on YouTube and on PlayStation Network. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Have a great day.